Hey friends, welcome back. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a joyous Eid if your family celebrated the end of Ramadan. Um, if you have veterans in your family, I hope you uh, celebrated their sacrifice. All right, so they are at the bike auction. Henry has been frustrated by Beezus and Ramona feeling like they were getting in his way. But let's find out what happened. At last, they were able to hear the auctioneer again. Henry was afraid. There were so many tall people in front of them that they couldn't be seen, even if they could make themselves heard. Beezus and Henry yelled experimentally a couple of times, but they really didn't expect to be heard. "Oh, I wish Robert and Scooter were here," said Henry. "Maybe if we all yelled together, he could hear us." "Oh, they're here, but they're on the other side of the driveway," said Beezus. "We could never get through this crowd." Then, looking frantically all around, she gasped, "Ramona! Where's Ramona? I can't find her." Maybe she went home." Henry looked around, but it was impossible to see more than a few feet in any direction. "She was just down here with Ribsy a minute ago." Beezus looked frightened. "Henry, what will my mom say if I've lost my sister forever?" "Aw, she must be around someplace. She couldn't go very far in this crowd." Henry was frustrated. First it was the parking ticket on a dog, because Ramona was hungry. Then, because of her, they got taken out of the crowd. Now she had to wander off when he was trying to bid on a bike. That's what happened when he tried to go someplace with a couple of girls. Nevertheless, he looked around for Beezus' little sister while the bidding continued. "Where can she be?" Beezus was frantic. "Maybe she got kidnapped." "Ah, jeepers," thought Henry. "I hope she isn't going to cry." He had enough troubles without Beezus crying all over the place. He knew Ramona couldn't be far away, and he was sure no one would ever kidnap her, especially if they knew her. Now, all he had to do was find her before the auction ended. If we went up front, we could ask the auctioneer to ask about her," suggested Henry. He didn't mention that his chances of bidding on a bike would also be better. Have you seen my little sister? Have you seen my little sister?" Beezus asked the people around her. Henry inquired if anybody had seen a little girl in a blue dress, but no one had noticed her. What are we going to do, Henry?" asked Beezus, blinking her eyes to keep back the tears. I, I, I can't go home without her. I've got to find her. I've got to." Just then the auctioneer pounded his gavel and roared, "Quiet, everybody, quiet!" The crowd was almost silent. "Has someone here lost a little girl?" He held Ramona up for everyone to see. Her face was streaked with tears, and she clutched her slimy slug in one hand. "I'll give you $1 for the kid," yelled Scooter. "You be quiet, wise guy," shouted the auctioneer. "It's Ramona!" Beezus cried out. "It's my little sister!" "Will you please come up and get your sister?" asked the auctioneer. "Make way for the little lady to come for her sister." Hey, thought Henry, here's my chance. I'll go with her and get up front where the auctioneer can see me, and then maybe he can hear my bid. The people in front moved aside to let Beezus through. Henry started after her. "Hey, where do you think you're going?" the big boy in front of Henry demanded. With her," Henry said. "You're not getting in front of me," said another boy. And by that time, the path the crowd had made for Beezus closed up again. Henry couldn't let his one chance at a bike get away from him. "Beezus! Beezus!" he called desperately. "Beezus, if you see a good bike, bid for me. I've got $12.75. "Okay, Henry," Beezus answered through the crowd. The auction continued. In spite of the other people's toes, Henry jumped up as high as he could each time a bike was held up. If Beezus could make the auctioneer hear, it might be his. One bike went by. 2 bikes went by. Henry grew more and more anxious, waiting to hear a shout of $12.75. Beezus must be in the very front row. Why wasn't she bidding? What had gone wrong? Then he heard the auctioneer's voice ring out, "Sold for $12.75. Bicycle number 32, going to the little lady who lost her sister." Beezus had bid and won a bike for Henry. Joyfully, Henry sprang into the air to see his bike, but he couldn't see a thing. But that was all right. There was a bike waiting for him, a bike of his very own. After that, Henry lost interest in the auction. He was busy wondering what his bike looked like. He hoped it was red and had a horn and a light. Gradually, the crowd began to leave, and Henry and his dog were able to work their way up to the front, where Beezus and Ramona were waiting. Beezus, who was holding a place in the line of people paying for bikes, looked pleased and excited. "Henry, I got you a real good one, with wheels and handlebars and everything. It's in that pile over there. I had the man write your name on the tag." Henry took his place in line and was trying to guess which bike in the heap was his, when Robert and Scooter joined him. "Hey, you find out about that parking ticket?" asked Robert. "Sure, and I got a bike too," boasted Henry. "Yeah." Scooter plainly did not believe him. "Yeah, and I'm not going to jail or anything either." Then Henry explained about the policeman and the ticket. "I bet the bike isn't any good," remarked Scooter. "It is too a good bike," Beezus contradicted. "It has 2 wheels and everything, all the parts. Of course, it isn't exactly new, but it's a good bike just the same. You wait and see, Scooter." "Sure, it's a good bike if Beezus says so," Henry bragged. "Aw, you just wait until I ride it in the Rose Festival parade." Gradually, the line moved forward. "Number 32, said Henry when his turn came. At last, he nearly had his hands on his very own bike. He had to run along the sidewalk beside Scooter on the way to the auction, but he was going to ride his own bike home. He counted out the money. "I bet you something's wrong with it. I'll bet. You wait and see," said Scooter. There will not be, said Beezus. "At least not anything important." The police officer finally untangled Henry's bicycle from the rest of the pile. Scooter and Robert began to howl with laughter. "Oh," Henry groaned. What could you expect when you went to an auction with a girl? The bike had 2 wheels and a seat and handlebars, all right. But there was something else wrong with it. It was a girl's bicycle. And that is the end of the chapter. Now, I got a little picture here. So, for a boy's bicycle, traditionally, you have your 2 wheels and your handlebars. And then the seat goes up here, and there's a straight bar across here. Now, back in the day when women wore more skirts, it would have a curved bar so that you could wear a skirt or a dress. So Henry's bike has that curved bar instead of the straight bar. And so he's upset about that. But we'll find out what happens tomorrow when we come back and read Chapter 6, page 148, Henry's Bargain Bike. I'll see you tomorrow.